Jai Hare Krishna. Where is Maharaj now?
I think he's in Latvia. No?
In Latvia. Okay.
I
Because
think.
I didn't write. I left it open.
Oh. Today we resume our program here in Uberlandia.
With him?
No, not with him.
In Uberlandia. Okay.
In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
That's so nice.
We're coming back with gatherings.
Very nice.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Well, we've arrived to our family devotees, Leelamoy Prabhu, Paramananda Prabhu, Praneshwari Devi Dasi. And step by step, no doubt some more will come to join us, but already we are family together. And on Facebook, we've got our devotees. I see you're broadcasting on Facebook, but at the moment, I have only one connection. So I'll keep it for the Zoom. And where is Leelamoy Prabhu? You're at home or you're in the ashram?
Namaste Gurudev, Namaste all the devotees. No, I'm at home.
You're at home. Okay.
Yeah.
And Paramananda is in Japan, is my guess, by the looks of the Japanese background, Japanese style walls and sliding doors, etc. And Jayadev Prabhu is bringing us remembrance, beautiful remembrance of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, and by that picture also, their relationship. And Rupanuga Prabhu is in somewhere warm. Hare Krishna. Dandavats Prabhu. And Dana Krishna, as Praneshwari very generously calls her. She's with us. And Dhan is treasure, D-H-A-N. Dhan is treasure. So you are a treasure. All the devotees are treasures. Everyone is actually a treasure when they're coming back to home. We can have treasures all hidden within the earth. And in South Africa, we don't have Seva Rupadiri with us, but in South Africa, we know there are diamonds hidden in the earth, and people go digging down to find the diamonds. But there are diamonds in all of us, in all of you. I'm not sure what's in me, maybe that coal that they also go digging for, that black stuff. And Praneshwari Devi Dasi looking after us. And with this wonderful Tulsi behind her in Navadip, Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And here, I'm also somewhere relatively warm. I'm in Latvia, which I think is -7 degrees or something outside. Wow. But they're very good at keeping their flats and everywhere warm with the government central heating. It is a good system. And Arati in the semi-desert of California, as we see in the photo. All right, to each of you, we're a couple of minutes in, or we're 4 minutes in, my goodness. So let's just give our obeisances, start in a good way with the mini invocation, and then we'll come to have a chat about the basics of devotional service and share with each other. Okay, Vandeham Omagyan Vanchakapa Namo Maha is short way, an invocation, but a full invocation. Pandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitangs Cha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Govinda Gopala Gopala. Dear devotees, Dandabas, welcome. So, where would you like to begin today?
Maharaj, tell us about your arrival in Latvia.
Arrival. Well, first of all, I had an unnoticeable journey because I was with a devotee all the way. And this is Udaran Prabhu. He came to, as you know, he came to Villa Govinda in Italy, and we came up together. And as we sat down, you know, you settle into the plane, put on your seatbelt, and he said, "So, what are you going to do during the flight?" And I had my little tablet, had my little phone, had my earphones, I had my japa, and I said, "Well, I've got things to read, things to hear, my japa to chant, and I have you." And he said, "So what's your priority?" And I said, "You." So he and I very easily and smoothly just were like on the way, but we were just like on a journey, whether we are walking or doing anything, flying in the sky, we're chatting. So sometimes we have, what do we say? Walk and talk, like walk and chat. But this was a plane ride and chat. And some beautiful perspective of the world. We were in the clouds. So when we were at the airport in Milan, it was like overcast and a little damp and cold and all those things, you know, kind of gray January morning. And then as we took off, within a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, we passed through a very shallow, very narrow layer of cloud, which was causing all this. And actually, Udaran Prabhu, he got me a window seat because he'd heard from somewhere that, oh, we like to look out of the window a little bit. And then he was saying, well, we got the window seat, but it's all so cloudy and gray, we won't see anything. But within a couple of minutes, we were through a narrow layer of cloud, and it was so beautiful. We went up, and when you come out of Milan and we're heading north to come here, then immediately we see the Alps in pure, clean sunlight, and we flew over the Alps, and we're both like looking out of the window. We saw Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in Europe, and of course, it's January. Everything was basically covered with snow and the clear blue sky, and we sort of got a different perspective, and this got us chatting on the way. And very unnoticeable flight because it's, I don't know, 2.5 hours or something like that. But it was over in a blink of an eye because we hardly noticed anything, and it was a smooth journey. And then arriving in Latvia, well, you know, devotees are devotees, so they're liable to embarrass you at the airport. And it's a land where you cannot just go out of the house and buy a garland. You know, India, Thailand, you can buy a garland. They're the land of flowers, the land of garlands, and this kind of tradition, but not Latvia. And they'd made a beautiful garland and everything. So they're giving to me, but yes, not for my neck, for the neck of wonderful Srila Gurudev, the neck of wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj, as Jayadeva was showing in the thumbnail. It's for their neck. And then from then on, then we've been with the devotees. So actually, we've also continued having unnoticeable where we are, just being with devotees. And this is, of course, the purpose to go anywhere. And everyone really doing their best and doing their best. The result is up to Krishna, and we see some very sweet result with the community of people and the sincere gatherings of the seekers, the gatherings of sincere seekers. And so first in Riga, and did a public program, and maybe Paramananda knows her, Tanushree. She runs it's not just a yoga studio. It's a I don't know what you describe it studio, but she uses a facility for, you know, for astrology, for Ayurveda, homeopathy, for yoga, for this kind of you can say mode of goodness and Eastern-based ideas. And we've done programs there in previous years before the pandemic, and it was more or less full, you can say, but this time we have to say that it was completely full, and it was standing and sitting humbly. And it's not a tradition so much, but you know, in a kind of a lecture hall where it's all laid out with chairs, but the people are coming in and they were happily sitting on the floor also. So standing room, sitting room, and then you know, a very good program with the public, our devotees, but the public also coming. And then we came up here by car to Resegne, and then we've did a public program in Resegne, and then a public program yesterday evening in Daugavpils, probably pronouncing it wrong, which is, I was told, the second largest city in Latvia, but it's an extremely quiet place. I mean, extremely quiet. It reminded me of Canberra in Australia, which is a purpose-built capital city of Australia, which is almost deserted. There's no question of a traffic jam or anything like that. And this town reminded me of that. And then yesterday evening, we did a program, well-attended program with local devotees, people who've been coming before by Suresh Krishnabhu and the other devotees preaching. And I mean, good, 75% were newcomers who were coming. And really, I thought that we go to some like established centers, famous centers in the world, they arrange a public program, and you know, quite often, then mainly it's our devotees, and there's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 public. I mean, sometimes it happens like that. But here's Suresh Krishnabhu in the middle of nowhere, in a way, and he's got good gatherings of good people who sort of, I mean, they're keen. Here's Udaran Prabhu. He asked me, don't put me on the spot and ask me too many questions. So he's very nervous to come and attend us because I've got a bad reputation of putting devotees on the spot. But we were there together. And last night, we had 2 hours of sort of the talk. We started with kirtan talk, some kirtan, and then we had each of our devotee family say just a few minutes, but a few minutes each, some experience. And that means here, because people don't speak English, that means here that they were able to get something in the local people, their own language. And this was that evening program, and the people stayed on afterwards, and they're talking with each other, like mingling, and good public program. So, I mean, all credit to Suresh Krishnabhu. And when we tried to give him credit in the car on the way back, then he said, oh, it's not me. We need everybody in the team. And he pointed out how each of the different devotees contributed in one way or another to make it all happen. And so it's a fact. It's a team. Krishna consciousness is teamwork. It's not just, if we take it to the apex, Radha and Krishna, there is so much seva that needs to be done. And so our prayer is that we may be engaged in that seva. So Krishna consciousness throughout, it is teamwork. So you asked me about our arrival in Latvia, and this is a little summary.
Beautiful, thank you.
Should I put Udaran Prabhu on the spot as we're here? Look, here's the happy face of a Vaishnava. Now you can see a devotee. And he can see your happy faces, the devotee faces, including Seva Rupa Devidasi's face. We quoted South Africa just a short while ago, but you were not with us. I looked for you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
About how this treasure, diamonds, are hidden well, deep down under so many coverings, but diamonds are there. In South Africa, they go searching for diamonds, but inside all of the devotees, there is a diamond. We have to go searching down. We have to be miners and go mining the diamond within each of us. Udaran Prabhu. Are you? Oh, by the way, just to be fair, yesterday before we left from here, and it's an hour and a half drive from this city to where we did the program, and I did say to each devotee, so I will ask you when we get there, please say something. And so be prepared. And each of them were prepared. And I have to say, each of them spoke very nicely, to the point, and different presentations of Krishna consciousness from their own, and a very personal kind of viewpoint. And it was very sweet. And I heard the translation, like what was being said. And so, yes. So it was very sweet program. And we had a good audience who drew it from the devotees. Everybody felt, oh, we're meeting our family, and from our side of it, it's like we're meeting our lost family. They need to know about Krishna. And so we were happily telling something. And Udaran Prabhu, not on the spot. He knows I'm likely to ask him something. You can say just a couple of things about yesterday evening, if you like. This is Praneshwari's question about, yes, tell us about Latvia and what's happening.
I don't know what to say, as always. So please excuse me. Yesterday was a program in Daugavpils, and the topic was Maharaj also described about the Vedas and what is conclusion of the Vedas, and so about where are we, where we need to go, what is our home, and how to get to our home. So we also tried to tell something about this topic, and I remembered a lecture from Riga when Maharaj described that we need just to know these three things: where are we, where we want to be, and how to get there. So I tried to say about this to others. So what can I say more? I don't know.
And also, I was just trying to think too, what did we say last night? Because we did sing also, and we sang a little more, perhaps in some of the programs. And we talked about how we were in a yoga studio yesterday, and in the yoga world, then they've got some appreciation for the Vedas. They've got some part, they're doing yoga. There's always some quote from here and there like this. But we mentioned about that example that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned about the elephant and the six blind men of Hindustan who came across the elephant. So We try to let them see they've all got appreciation for the message of the Veda, for good health, for this, for that, for so many things. But what is the overall purpose of the Veda? Not a spear, not a tree, not a wall, not a rope, and all these, not a fan, all these different things. An elephant is an elephant. And so what it has a purpose, and it has a purpose to carry, to do so many things. And the Vedas have a purpose to carry us to our home. What is it? And what is that? Love of God. Wake up, Krishna Prema. So this, if you want to know the subject matter of yesterday, this kind of thing we were trying to bring them to. So, Praneshwari.
Very successful programs. And Prabhu, how long do you want to keep Maharaj in Latvia?
Well, we want to keep him forever,
Hare
but unfortunately, at Monday he will go back to Vivekananda.
And we are also happy to be here forever. We're happy to be with the Vaishnavas forever. We are not really feeling so much about location, but about people, association. And today, Harinam Sankirtan, we're actually driving back down, which is maybe, well, we came here in 3 hours, but we came in a Mercedes-Benz with a lively driver, lively, capable driver, good driver, but we came in a sporty way in 3 hours. I think we'll go back in 4 hours. And then today, Nam Sankirtan in the streets means Harinam Sankirtan, Nagar Sankirtan, village Sankirtan in Jurmala, and evening program, which will be the devotee program, more our traditional program. So we'll be with the devotees, singing some bhajan, discussing questions and answers in Riga. So that will be in Riga, the capital city. The thing is, everybody works. So during the week, the devotees are all out and about. So it's the weekend time when we can meet both the devotees and the public much more. But a good response. And I was thinking today, I was reminded about Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, and how he first, we can say it's Leela, it's pastime, but how he came to have appreciation for Mahaprabhu's message for Krishna consciousness, for Gauranga consciousness. And I was thinking about Guru Maharaj and how he came across, the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guru Maharaj himself gave some history, and there's a chapter called Transcendental History. And that's perhaps in Centenary Anthology, which was in honor of Srila Guru Maharaj's 100th appearance year, 100th appearance day, and his centenary. And there Guru Maharaj, he said how he got a book about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and I'm not exactly sure which book it is. We could take a look, but where it was describing Mahaprabhu's teaching and his life, maybe life and precepts of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but I think it wasn't the book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I think it was another book. But I remember Guru Maharaj saying that reading that, I devoured it. It was so relishable to him. And he was so attracted by Mahaprabhu's teachings. But that he somehow at that time, the general impression of Mahaprabhu's devotees was not good amongst the public, because the devotees' behavior was not good. And then somehow or another, people were coming under the banner of Mahaprabhu for begging door to door. Oh, I'm a sadhu, give me some food, give me something to eat, like this. And so the substance of Mahaprabhu's teachings had got somewhat diluted, and the conduct of those who were coming, the motive of those who were coming, it was a little questionable. And so Guru Maharaj was coming from a respectable Brahminical family, actual Brahmin family, not just by name and having a thread on them and smoking bidis and riding rickshaws and things like this, but I mean driving rickshaws, which we see. But coming from a all India respected family. And so Guru Maharaj, he was aware that his family is going to be a difficult pill for his family to swallow, that Guru Maharaj would come under the banner of Mahaprabhu. But the dignity of Mahaprabhu's message and what Guru Maharaj discovered there, was so powerful that he had to put aside the society's opinion of the Vaishnavas, and his then goal and focus and everything was understanding more and more of who is Mahaprabhu and what is his message, and that divine message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is Guru Maharaj's Leela, but it is like many devotees' history, as it were, of coming to the banner of Mahaprabhu, that sometime, somewhere, sometime, we've come across the teachings of Mahaprabhu, either through somebody personally or through books, or modern age, stumbling across something substantial on the internet amongst all the insubstantial stuff, coming across something substantial and being introduced to Mahaprabhu. And then I was thinking about how, we are meeting the public, we're trying to give them this introduction. And this introduction, it is to introduce them to Mahaprabhu's teaching, Mahaprabhu's substantial presentation of the goal of life. And Guru Maharaj also, at that time when he first was reading about Mahaprabhu's teachings, he was previously not feeling any particular direction in life. He'd been little involved in the independence movement. He was going to university, going for higher education, out of family pressure. And if you can say a common kind of journey of people in their life, we go to education and work and career and stuff due to little family pressure, peer pressure, and so many things. But Guru Maharaj said that reading Mahaprabhu's message showed there is a purpose, there's a way, there is a journey in life to take. There is direction. And of course, in a fraction of the way that Guru Maharaj is understanding things, this is a very common feeling with the devotees who didn't have any clue about the message of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, plus the message of Mahaprabhu of distributing that. And we didn't have any clue, but we're doing so many things in our life, all of us practically before, and active, doing things, but what direction? Nothing substantial. But Mahaprabhu has given us the very purpose of our energy, where to use our energy, the goal, ambition, ideal, all of these things. And not as a dream, but as practical things for everyone to do. And one thing in both of the programs, the public programs we did last night and the night before, then when it was question time, they were asking about how to chant, the reality of chanting. We're hearing about this, but then they're asking about the process to chant and chanting on beads, this, that, and the other. So we have hope that in the world still there are good souls who will recognize Mahaprabhu's teaching and whose lives may really be changed from having a general interest in spirituality, a genuine, some interest in finer things and looking up, to seeing that it's in the beginning maybe a general matter, But if we're fortunate, Bhagyavana Jeev, the fortunate Jiva souls, they may come to really appreciate that here is a substantial, honest path. And we're reminded again and again of why we came also to Krishna consciousness and what we signed up for, what we came for. We must always try to keep that ideal. And the purity, the sweetness, the honesty, the affection, the love, beauty, charm, theme, which came from Srila Prabhupada, but came in our lives in the association and seva in a very direct way of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. And there we are reminded of this. And yesterday, what happened? We were asked something. Oh yes, so on the way back, then the devotees, then they're asking in a car some things, and we are remembering some pastimes with Srila Govinda Maharaj, and earlier on the way up with Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. But yesterday we only had an hour and a half. How much can we cover in an hour and a half? We were talking about pastimes about Srila Govinda Maharaj and what he wants will come to be. He doesn't like the word, the expression, I'm sorry. He doesn't want to hear that. And so this led on to one thing and another. And then we're so much reminded about being directly there in service with them, being with them, the nature of Gurudev. In particular, yesterday we were talking about Gurudev. And remembering those days, keeping them alive, keeps us also remembering what is Krishna consciousness. It's all about love and beauty. It's all about affection and sweetness. And we must keep this, and we must try to always look for that thread and be connected with that thread and develop in ourselves, the filter to see that only and not to see anything else of this world. And this world, always there are distractions. It's not just in this generation we've got difficult situations. From the time of the first missionary work of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there have been challenges in the missionary personalities, etc. And this we are reminded about too in the example of one of Srila Guru Maharaj's godbrothers, who I think I know the name, but anyway, I don't want to say the name without double checking. One of Guru Maharaj's godbrothers, seeing the nature, so many challenges, difficulties, personality clashes, and so many things amongst Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples. Great grand leaders, generals, as Gurudev describes them, parshads of Mahaprabhu, but so many frictions, if you like, in the closeness of the activities of the devotees there. And then the godbrother came to Guru Maharaj and said to Guru Maharaj, I see that all of our godbrothers, they're disciples of Saraswati Thakur. They have Krishna consciousness. They are Vaishnavas. They have such a connection. But this such and such Vaishnava, he's a Vaishnava and he's an angry Vaishnava. This is a Vaishnava, but he's self-centered Vaishnava. This is a Vaishnava, but he's, like this, whatever description, but he's a Vaishnava, and then he's got some other covering, some other quality. But stressing the Vaishnava part, and that devotee saying, this is how I harmonize. They're all Vaishnavas, but they've all got their own personality, and that makes the extra ingredient of the particular life go on between each of them. So this is not something new that we've got, what we could say is distractions from the external appearance of Krishna consciousness. So, happily remembering that, like beautiful examples of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, living examples of what is devotional life, and seeing how they have shown to us what is devotional life. We must keep that as our gold standard always, and remember that. And anything that happens in this world, if we can just keep understanding, remembering, keeping that ideal, and seeing Gurudev's little bit smiling face when some dramas are going on. And Gurudev, he's seeing the dramas of the world, but Krishna consciousness is there as our destination and our direction, our life. And what Mahaprabhu gave through his devotees and his special devotees and all the devotees, what Mahaprabhu gave, this is the treasure, pranadhana, the treasure of the life of the devotees. So, yes, Praneshwari, thank you for asking. We are happy to come to Latvia and happy to be with the public as well as with the devotees, with this sincere public.
And just by telling us this, you have taken us to Latvia. So thank you so, so much. We are delighted to be in the association of such a wonderful group of devotees. Maharaj, please check the chat. Sevarupa has something there.
I see just now, but sorry, I have to bring the computer a bit nearer so I can read what's there. So first of all, from Dana, she's been sending us flowers and tulsi leaf maybe, and all good things, and Ganga Leela Devi Dasi, yes, Hare Krishna Danda Bastidi, Praneshwari. Acha, live in Latvia. Yes, in Latvia, but for a moment. By the way, Latvia is full of snow. It's a novelty at the beginning, and then snow is all around, and everywhere is snow. But snow is also makes everything clean and crisp somehow, because snow is white, as you know. You've seen the adverts for washing powder, as white as snow. Okay. Sevarupa, what have you put this in here?
Dhanavad Maharaj. Yeah,
This is Guru Maharaj, yeah. From Centenary Anthology, is it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, so it's when Guru Maharaj is studying at college, and then he's not really giving his attention to his mind. Right. At that time, my friend gave me some literature on Mahaprabhu's life and teachings. And I devoured it like nectar. Yeah, I said only devoured it, yes, but I devoured it like nectar. I found some position there. It is not that I am nowhere. Here is the support, the basis, the foundation. I found here this sustenance, hope, and shelter I needed. Hare Krishna. This is Guru Maharaj's pure heart, and our impure hearts can surely also reflect with this. This is what we need. It's absolutely what we need, and we mustn't take it for granted when we've come across it. Okay, I've got it. We can't take it for granted. So yes, I'll continue. In this way, I began to read and read. My very nature was that whatever I read scrutinizingly. It may be slow, but my reading is more or less very accurate and representing the true aspect. I could also hear very clearly. Even without reading, acute hearing was also a part of my nature. Whatever I heard, I could grasp the very purpose and keep it within me. And here also, by thorough reading, I found my life, my future hope, everything. I was converted. Hare Krishna. And this is why, if we can present the words, the teachings of our masters, we may have hope that I may be converted, we may be converted individually, but also that who we meet, it's completely reasonable. Everything about Mahaprabhu's teaching is completely reasonable to, you could say, a sensible thinking person, someone who's not just going to be suspicious about everything and come up with, oh yes, but. but somebody who will openly look and see. So there we are.
Maharaj, if you scroll down, but here Sevarup is on the spot. She has a question further down the chat.
Okay, and
Go
just
ahead, Sevarupa.
Paramanand Siddhanti Maharaj, thank you. I was thinking that, and I wasn't so sure. One of Guru Maharaj's, one of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples, Siddhanti Maharaj. I also don't remember his Bhakti, his title, I'm not sure. But it was Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj, one of Guru Maharaj's godbrothers, who was saying to Guru Maharaj in this way. And Guru Maharaj, he chuckled and he was happy with that. And he did repeat that story a few times. And I have it on the tip of my mind somewhere, that Guru Maharaj did ask him then, after hearing like his description of different godbrothers, and Guru Maharaj said, and what category have you got me in? And Paramananda, what was the reply of Siddhanti Maharaj to Guru Maharaj?
Maharaj, I don't have a memory of that. Perhaps there was no reply.
I think there was a reply, but I don't
want to publish at least.
I don't want to say it without it being confirmed.
Yes.
This is something we can check with another acute hero, which is Srila Goswami Maharaj. I mean, really, he has that acute hearing capacity. And of course, there's always gradation, but really, he remembers things quite photographically, let's say photographic memory. And that's a good one we can check with Goswami Maharaj. But I know that then Guru Maharaj also, after saying this, he's also smiling and he was happy with this idea. We need to harmonize. We've got to harmonize always with the external world, with the devotee world, with all worlds we have to harmonize. It's not only harmonize where it's easy to harmonize. Harmonize means we've got to harmonize where it's difficult to harmonize too. And then Sevarupa, Devirasi, Dandavat Pranams. Why does Gurudev not like the phrase, I am sorry? Okay, Udaran Prabhu. Oh, you weren't in the car. Oh, you were in.
Yes, I was in another.
Yeah, he's in another. Yeah, we're in two cars. Okay, so Udaran got some of the stories and others got others of the stories, and there we are. So yes, so I can't ask Udaran Prabhu to relay the story, but Paramananda Prabhu knows why Gurudev doesn't like the expression, I'm sorry. Paramananda Prabhu. Everything has a context, so we'll hear.
Actually, the best person to hear it from is you.
Well,
because you've been there with Govinda Maharaj when he expressed it personally several times. And I also heard it from the devotees, but not directly from Srila Govinda Maharaj. So we are here to hear from you on that subject.
Well, I am happy to say that I have been there with Gurudev, but I'm happy to say that it wasn't to me that he was saying this, because we are fortunate to have witnessed many, interactions of pastimes between Gurudev and devotees. And sometimes we have to say that we could think, oh, this devotee who's getting a little bit of mercy, of chastisement, that could easily have been me, but I'm seeing he's going through that. I think I better learn from this so it's not me in the future. So we have seen Gurudev actually disturbed when he's given a duty to somebody and they've come back and then like next day the Gurudev saying, what about such and such duty that I gave you? And then the devotee saying, oh, Gurudev, I'm sorry, it wasn't possible because this I tried, but I'm sorry, it didn't happen. So this context of I'm sorry, Gurudev, if he gives some duty to somebody, he's expecting it's going to be done by hook or by crook, but it's going to be done. And the other thing is that we saw that really it's Gurudev's wish that gets everything done, but we may need to exert and try harder, and even when it seems impossible, still to continue with whatever thread of possibility is there. And we see that this is the trick of the devotional path, that things may not be easy, but they are for us to do. It's our duty to do. And we are not responsible, even though we're not responsible for the result, because the result is up to Krishna. The easiest thing we do may be a complete failure, but a very difficult thing we do may be very, accomplished, and it comes through unexpectedly. So we must always remember the result is up to Krishna. But even in another way, we saw really that Gurudev was the mover of so many things, and that the devotees need to be an instrument. So this expression of "I am sorry" is in this context. That the context of, oh, we have a duty, we've been given something to do, and we come back and it's not done. And Gurudev may ask a devotee to do something like quite easily. That's not an instruction, it's not like giving instructions, write down, you need to do this, 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 this. But for instance, devotees, especially earlier, we'd have to go to Calcutta to do things, because Calcutta, things happen. It's a city, it's in the mode of passion, things happen. And Navadip, some things happen. It's a village. We'll say it's in the mode of goodness. So anyway, you have to go to Calcutta to do a lot of things, especially in the earlier days. And, Gurudev, he'll say, oh, when you're there, please, this and this. And so he may just simply, give some desire, some wish, express it in that way. But then if the devotees come back and they sort of did their things, but didn't do what Gurudev wanted, and I'm sorry, Guru, I didn't have time to go into that. Oh, that was not a happy answer for Gurudev. And Gurudev notes everything. He may not express directly to the devotee at that time, and he may express to the devotee at that time. And so this "I am sorry" phrase, yes, directly we've been with Gurudev, not once, but different times when he's expressed them.
One thing I remember, Maharaj, though, in that connection, it wasn't a direct chastisement or instructions to a particular person, but he said that, and now you will say sorry and continue doing the same thing. That was kind of answer to a question to the assembly of the devotees, where he is saying that no matter, you must continue trying in the correct way. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. And then that was his kind of question to the audience. In that connection, we were just reading Revealed Truth, and Srila Govinda Maharaj's, I can read a few lines from him.
Reading from where, Prabhu?
Keeping from Revealed Truth.
Revealed Truth, okay.
So Govinda Maharaj is quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, a word from Srimad Bhagavatam. Turnam means immediately. Try to get that result. If you have any sobriety about your position, do not wait 1 second. It is not necessary to wait 1 second to get that result. Immediately start, and until death, try for the supreme benefit of your life. And we're remembering how he would sometimes say, try as much as possible by you. That's another phrase of Govinda Maharaj. Giving us some space in a way, not to lose our heart while trying and failing all the time, but giving chance after chance after chance after chance, and inspiring, encouraging devotees. And that is also very important, because when we come to Krishna consciousness, at some point we can realize there's no way. It's way too high and way too deep, and we're way too suspicious and faithless for leap. And we're about to jump and then we step back, and we're about to jump and we step back. Keep trying, Govinda Maharaj is saying. And that's wonderful. And also, Maharaj, you mentioned how everything was a certain shape, the Vaishnavism during the time of Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, when he came, the Vaishnavas were laughed upon or looked down upon, and there were so many Vaishnavas doing all sorts of things in the name of Vaishnavism. And that reminded, and we're still in some places of the world, in the appearance of Advaita Acharya. Are we? Because there is no calendar by some reason on our SCS Smart website. So
There is.
trying to ask each other.
There's a
There is
calendar
somehow
on
really
the right side.
something wrong with my device. Really, I couldn't by some
Okay.
reason it disappeared.
We'll check and see that everything's working okay. Yes, Prabhu, okay.
But somehow just reminded that day, because what happened before Mahaprabhu appeared, and that is expressed in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavata. It was a similar state of affairs, and Vaishnavas were looked down upon, and there are so many different abominable practices were seen by people, by so-called Vaishnavas. And it's when Advaita Acharya would organize first Namahattas, when the Vaishnavas would gather, and what kind of Vaishnavas would gather. Vendrapuri, Vishwarup, the brother of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and all the dignitaries, Haridas Thakur, was like, that was an oasis of Vaishnavism, the house of Advaita Acharya, prior to Mahaprabhu's appearance. And after Mahaprabhu appeared too, because Mahaprabhu did not reveal his identity for some time, but it is also described how he would come there, sent by Mother Shachi, to get back Vishwarup for lunch or dinner, and Vishwarup was so much absorbed in that the Harinam Sankirtan, we can say, the associated Advaita Acharya and all the devotees. He wouldn't leave otherwise. He would stay there day after day after day. So when Gauranga, maybe at the age of 5, would appear there, then everybody will feel ecstatic joy, and they couldn't explain why are they feeling some extra joy coming to their heart when this little boy would show up and take Vishnu by hand and pull him to his mother's house to take lunch or dinner. Anyhow, he just reminded that, Maharaj. And I was watching yesterday, we went, by the grace of Shripad Dandi Maharaj, we went to Shantipur and the temple of Advaita Acharya deities. And Maharaj reminded us upcoming events in Navadvip Dham, Navadvip Parikram. Yes, Maharaj, so it was my fault.
And
Yes, Maharaj.
I think last, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago when we were together, then I think I mentioned on the Back to Basics that I just had the day before perhaps was a happy day and a sad day, because I'd had on the loop a chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat, and it happened to be the glories of Advaita Acharya. And like I was so happy to be hearing that chapter. It was so wonderful chapter. And I'd listened to it, I think 3 times consecutively. And then the next chapter, which I just thinking, these are the best chapters ever, as we always do. And then the next chapter, then still very happily going on, and then heard the words, thus ends the reading of Sri Chaitanya, the book, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Thus ends the complete reading of the book, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, just when we're kind of relishing the chapters more and more day by, as they're going on. But then it was that chapter about Advaita Acharya. So we read from that chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is either it's the second to the last or third to the last chapter in the book. And really, we're trying to glorify the devotees, we're trying to glorify the Parshas. But that chapter, Mahaprabhu himself is glorifying Advaita Acharya. And he's glorifying his cooking and his hospitality and so many things. And it was a Leela which is not, I don't know if it was just maybe touched on in half a verse, in 1 line or something in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Krishnadas Kaviraj keeps telling us, already Vrindavan Das Thakur has given us these these pastimes. I'm not going to repeat what he's given. It would be audacity to do so. And why do so? It'll just increase the size of the book. And what took place was the pastime where Advaita Acharya, he very much wanted to feed Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu, this sounds familiar probably, is always with so many associates. So if you invite him for lunch, all his friends come, like all these sannyasis come with him too, which, okay, who are the sannyasis? Like Sarup Damodar and so many people. I mean, they're pretty fine sannyasis, but Advaita Acharya, he really wanted to feed Mahaprabhu and give Mahaprabhu like a special lunch. And so anyway, Advaita Acharya, he cooked with the help of his wife, the description of the cooking. I mean, it's just so beautiful. He sat down and cooked. So we're also trying to feel, you know, he wasn't standing up at a gas stove. They're sitting down, you know, the chopped vegetables. We're kind of thinking that the Indian scene of how he's sitting down and cooking and what's around him and those coal fires that they have. And then they're describing the cooking and the preparations, you know, all these things. But all the while he's Advaita Acharya, he's really wanting everything to be given to Mahaprabhu. And so anyway, Indra is a servitor of the Vaishnavas, the servitor of the Lord and the servitor of Advaita Acharya. And Indra, by knowing the wish of Advaita Acharya, he arranged a big storm and hailstones and all, and it's mentioned the hailstones, wind, and it says that the sannyasis, nobody could find their way. They got lost. So the sannyasis all got lost in this storm, and there was dust in the air, all these descriptions there. And you know, who knows where they ended up, but they all lost all sense of direction, couldn't find their homes, couldn't find anything. But Mahaprabhu came by the mystic arrangement of Advaita Acharya. And where Advaita Acharya was cooking and preparing, there was almost no rain, no wind. Everything was very fine. Everywhere else was chaos. And then Mahaprabhu came, and then taking the meal and everything. And then Mahaprabhu, he started to get a little suspicious about how it is only he is there, and he's got all this food stuff and everything. And then Mahaprabhu lays into the glorification of Advaita Acharya. And who is Advaita Acharya? And it is, and as Gurudev would say, as Paramhansa reminded us of expressions of Gurudev, Gurudev would say, it was a nothing matter for Advaita Acharya to arrange such storms and such illusion, if you like, that everyone gets baffled, except Mahaprabhu, and comes for his meal. And it's anyway,
Master of Maya, Maharaj.
Master of Maya. He's the origin, Advaita Acharya, the origin of the whole material creation, as Mahavishnu, and so many things. Anyway, from the lips of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no less, we heard the glories of Advaita Acharya. And this we covered, for us it was yesterday, it was Advaita Acharya's appearance day. And these days in the calendar, they're so wonderful for us to keep our focus and attention on the super personalities that have just a moment ago been here on planet Earth. They've given everything. And through their super associates, representatives, ambassadors, whatever kind of analogy we'll say, but through their super associates, this is available to us. This is what we are connected with by the grace of Guru and Gauranga.
And Maharaj, because of that, we had in Bhakti Yoga for Kids today a very auspicious day told by Priyanana Devidasi from Russia. And you cannot believe such a beautiful explanation. And she gave us a tour of the temple in St. Petersburg. So it was so special. We got the darshan of the deities. Wonderful. She took us even to the gazebo where Srila Gurudev used to sit. And it was snowing, it was so cold, but she was brave enough to be there just to show us. So beautiful.
And we're just down the road. I mean, we are just down, we can drive in half a day, I think, or half a day to St. Petersburg.
Just a little bit more.
Okay, a little bit more. We're just down the road. Priya and Anna, we're just down the road.
You can give him a wonderful surprise. They are waiting. The devotees are cooking in the kitchen just for you.
Oh, just for me. Are they going to make a storm so that others can't come? Hare Krishna, Jai Nitai. Okay, good devotees. So we'll a little bit continue here because we're also going to be back in the motor car in a short while, and we're driving down to Riga. We're going to do we'll be there with the devotees in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, doing Harinam Sankirtan, which they have been doing for how many years? 15 years without fail, except during COVID, where they had to, by law, they could not do for a few weeks, and they were all very sad. So we're going to we are going to join their kirtan. It's their credit, and they're going to be in the streets today and in our program this evening. So we're going to continue. But for me, I'm still really very much too remembering Guru Maharaj and Guru Maharaj's expression of appreciation of Mahaprabhu's message. And for me, I want to always remember that appreciation and stay very firmly and clearly knowing what we're doing, why we're doing it, and do it. Not to not do our activities. We must try to be devotees. Chant, honor all the Vaishnavas, humility, tolerance, give honor, not want honor for ourselves. This is for us all. We must practice this. We must practice this. We must do it as much as we can and continue happily. There are more things to say. They come straight right in my mind now at the end, but we don't have time to say them. If you like to start us off next week, you can give me the code words, Praneshri Devidasi, of white swan. And
Okay, Maharaj.
Udaran Prabhu immediately knows what that refers to, but we don't have time to start it off today. Because
Very well, Maharaj.
interesting white swan in Daugavpis. Okay, in this place that we went to. And so we'll start from there. Pranesh will give a little reminder. And it's all about the basis of devotional life. Jai Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Shriman Mahaprabhu's life and precepts ki Jai. And Jai to of course, to our wonderful masters on Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, wonderful Srila Gurudev ki Jai, wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj on Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakhak Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, wonderful Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and wonderful and Bhagavan, grand, great Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. By the way, he was known, as you know, as Shinga Guru, also like Lion Guru, and repeatedly in that chapter I mentioned of Chaitanya Bhagavat, then referring to Advaita Acharya as lion-like Advaita Acharya. And it's there in the Bengali, it's there, it's not, I mean, sometimes the translations have got some, helpful expressions, but it's right there, repeatedly, lion-like Advaita Acharya. So this time, I mean, in this context, we're saying lion-like, lion Guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, our wonderful preceptorial, super preceptorial line ki Jai. And Jai to all the assembled devotees ki Jai, to Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Srimati Tulsi Devi ki Jai. And we're here actually with Gaura Nitai, but they haven't woken up yet. It's not quite, they're almost going to wake up and, oh, I hope I haven't been speaking too loud. We have to be very quiet here. We're surrounded by flats. So anyhow, to all of the tolerant residents, Kijai, to all of the Vaishnavas present, to all of you all, our obeisances, and to those who we didn't give like a specific mention to as you came in, but to Krishna and Rani Didi in Turkey. So much happy to see you, have you with us, and it would be lovely next time. You maybe like to think of some things you'd like to share with us, because you were with Gurudev and Gurudev gave you mercy, and such a sweet relationship we have witnessed. And Krishna and Rani, next time we invite you, please, a few words. And to Dr. Dan, to Radha Sundari Devirasi, Chintamani, and to, if I missed anybody, please excuse me. My screen is showing these names. Jai Shila Gurudev, Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Shri Bhakti Ranjan Matsur Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. You're getting me to say Hare Krishna sincerely right now. I say Hare Krishna. Okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
And Maharaj, obeisances from Tungarasa and Banavi in Italy. And Marianne Morrissey, she's a devotee, but I don't know her spiritual name.
They're on Facebook. Yes, I'm not on Facebook today. Yes, it's true. Yes.
And a lot of messages from Rajbu and Yadav with hearts and dandavats and pranams.
I can see them in my heart because I've seen his, like, the little picture things he puts there and hands like this. Wonderful, wonderful having you all with us, and my obeisances and respects to each of you there too, and to each of you who will be with us live, but in the recorded version in a little while. I appreciate you all indeed. My Dandavat. With all good wishes, we'll meet again soon. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare.